Nanak naam chardi kala, tere bane sarbandha bhala. Good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. On behalf of Australian Indian Sports Education and Culture Society, A6, it gives me immense joy and gratitude to welcome you all at the special evening, the celebrating 556th anniversary of Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the founder of Sikhism and a guided light of compassion and equality. We are deeply honored to be hosted this celebration here at the Parliament House of New South Wales, the oldest parliament in Australia, a place where community, diversity and inclusion come together in the spirit of mateship. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owner of the land where we have gathered, and I pay my respect to their elder past and emerging. May this celebration be a symbol of unity, harmony and shared respect among all culture and faith. Guru Nanak Dev Ji's message is time and tradition. His teaching reminds us that spirituality lies not in ritual, but in living truthfully, serving selflessly and recognizing the divine light in every being. He guided humanity towards equality, compassion and justice that are we relevant today as they were over 5 centuries ago. This evening, as we celebrate his divine legacy, let us reflect on how his wisdom continue to inspire peace and harmony in our modern world. This evening, we are joined by many esteemed leaders, dignitary, community representatives, whose presence adds great honor to this celebration. Please join me welcoming the Honorable Treasurer Daniel Mukhi. It's really mean a lot. This is the 3rd year we're hosting this together, and thank you so much for all your support and your presence. Councillor Janki Ramanji, thank you so much for your time. We hosted this celebration on Friday, and we are here again, and thank you so much for your presence. Mark Speaksman, Leader of Opposition, thank you so much for your time and the work you do to uplift the community. Gurmesh is one of us as Sikh parliamentarian, so thank you so much for always your guidance with the community beyond parliament and the dialogue. And your presence is really important for us. We have Warren Kirby, thank you so much. You know, you are the, I can say, mover and shaker in the Indian community, especially from the Australian side. And you support the community from your heart and compassion as well. So, really an honor to have you. We also have Hugh McDermott, I think he just left. Councillor Neon, Ting James, member for Willoughby, thank you so much for your presence. Dora Davies, member for Parramatta. I'm just seeing if I heard
Karen McEwen, member for
Karen, sorry. Thank you, Karen, for your time. We also have religious interfaith leader in this event tonight, Shri Ram Singh Bombay, from representing the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee from Amritsar, Pandit Siva Srinivasan, Sheikh Sunar, the Islamic community, and some of the Jewish and Jain community people are here as well. As we gather here today to celebrate the divine teaching of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, let us take a moment and reflect upon the light of wisdom he brought into the light. In Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev Ji beautifully reminds us, Soche soch na hoye, je soche lakhwar, chuppe chup na hoye, je laye laha iftar. These divine words teaches us that true understanding does not come morally by thinking or silence, but through living truthfully with love and remembrance of Waheguru. Gurbani is not just a music, it is a voice of divine message that touches our soul and connect us directly with God. When we listen to the Shabad Kirtan, the pure hearts of our mind find peace and our spirits are uplifted. So we, with the folded hand and devotional in our heart, let us now begin today's Shabad Kirtan and immerse ourselves in the divine vibration of Guru Ki Bani, Gurbani, the sacred words that guide us towards truth, peace and oneness with Waheguru. Now, to begin with the evening devotion, I invite Bhavani and Jaideep to start with the Shabad Kirtan.
जप मन सतनाम सदा सतनाम जप मन सतनाम सदा सतनाम जप मन सतनाम सदा सतनाम जप मन
you so much, Avneet and Jadid, for the divine music. And that is called Shabad. Kirtan, thank you so much. I also would like to acknowledge a couple of people who just joined us, Mark Boutique, MLC, and also Christine McDonald, the Burwood Area Commander. And now I would like to invite Daniel Mukhi, the Treasurer for New South Wales. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. Good.
वाहिगुरु जी की खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Can I acknowledge that we're in the land of the gap and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Can I acknowledge Consul General, and it's so good to see you again in the New South Wales Parliament. Can I acknowledge the Leader of the Opposition, and can I also make a special acknowledgement of my friend Gurmesh Singh, my Punjabi brother in the New South Wales Parliament. It's so good to see you too. I of course welcome the other MPs, and it's Warren, Donna, Karen, Mark. I know that Tim was here, I know Hugh was here as well. The religious leaders who have joined us here today as well. It's so good to see you. I understand that we have members of the Hindu clergy, we have members of the Islamic clergy, we have members of the Jewish clergy who are here today as well. But a special mention to the leadership that has joined us from the Golden Temple. Anyone who has seen the Golden Temple, whoever has been to the Golden Temple, understands its magnificent beauty, but also how important it is to people of the Sikh faith. I visited the Golden Temple, would have been now 10 years ago, and I'm looking forward to going back to take my children. As a person who grew up, whose family is from Chandigarh, Amritsar is not that far. And I should also say that apart from the Golden Temple, Amritsar culture in Amritsar is worth the trip. So I'm looking forward to introducing them as well. Can I also just say what a beautiful kirtan we just heard as well, and I do want to acknowledge the musicians who played. This is an honour for me every year. As Gundam said, and I want to make special mention of him, because Gundam has brought this together. And Gundam has been clear now for 3 years, in which he and I have co-hosted this, that it is important for in this parliament, this people's parliament, that every people of all faiths, people of the Sikh faith and people of no faith, are welcome here. And when it comes to all the major festivals that we do to commemorate them, and when it comes to the birthday of Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the founder of the Sikh faith, the first of the Gurus, it's especially important that we take the time here in our parliament, in our democracy, to mark his birth. This particular week it's even more important because just on the weekend we, unfortunately the state saw some horrific scenes in front of this parliament with people who use this parliament as a symbol of division. And what better antidote to that than what we are doing tonight, which is to show that this is a parliament of unity. And this is a parliament of welcome, this is a parliament of inclusion, and this is a parliament that belongs to all its citizens, and especially all of those who wish to live in peace with each other. That actually is the teaching of Guruji. I am of the Sikh faith, but I'm from the part of India in which the faiths are commonly called. It is the reason why, I've said this before, but it's the reason why since the age of 12, I've been wearing a kara, and I will remain a kara, and I always have. Incidentally, my 2 children are now asking for their first kara, so I'm going to need to talk to you about how we get that. But what Guruji did, and what sits at the core of his philosophy is 2 things: peace, but egalitarianism. The idea that each of us is a king or a kaur, or each of us is a prince or a princess, and regardless of birth, we pay no attention to any of those forces, be it caste, be it region, be it our family, be it aristocracy, that each of us contains within us contains our own dignity, and we honour that. And equally, that each of us have an obligation to each other. That is what's the core of Guru Nanak Ji's teachings, in my view. And the ethos that I've absorbed is an ethos that I strive to teach my children. It's one that we should all celebrate. Because regardless of whether or not you are of the faith or not, that is a value that we can all ascribe to, and that is the common denominator in all faiths that we deal with. Its final point I just make is that we shouldn't forget, and I know Gurmesh especially knows this, the Sikh community's influence in this state goes back centuries. Centuries. Australian contact with the teachings of Guru Nanak Ji go back into the early 19th century. And we're learning more and more about this history. Last year, the New South Wales Treasury commemorated its 200th anniversary. One of the interesting things that I learned, that one of the 7 currencies that was accepted here before we had an official currency was the currency that actually came from India. And that there are coins that were used as legal tender here, actually from Punjab, that were brought here by people who were engaged in the East India Company, but also, incidentally, the first wave of Sikh migrants. We all know the story of Gulgulga, and which is a Gurdwara which I know particularly Gurmesh's father is heavily involved in. But that has been a community that dates its history back to the 1840s. And that is and when you think about the influence of Punjabi Sikh migrants back then, who incidentally came to Melbourne and walked there from Melbourne to Woolgoolga, is quite the walk. It's an amazing history, but also something that we should all be proud of. So whilst tonight we are acknowledging Guru Nanak Ji, we should not be pretending that this is new to New South Wales. I like to say that it's fitting that we are doing it tonight. We should be doing it more, we should have done it earlier, but I'm really glad that we've done it for the 3rd time, and I'm really glad to have done it with Gurnam and under your leadership. And thank you very much for having me here again tonight.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Just please accept a token of love from our side, Nadeem. And I would like to invite Gurbinder Singh.
Thank you.
So that is something I was thinking what we should bring in the parliament, and that is some divine light. And this is the lamp. There's a candle inside.
Yes.
You just have to put it and hang it. So it's all about light.
Light and laddu.
Right. Just one more minute, Daniel. And I think Daniel have to leave early, so I would like to invite 2 of our religious leaders, the Ram Singh Bombay and Manu Kala. Just one by one. Just the appreciation certificate that he's here all the way from Amritsar, Punjab, to represent the president of Shri Committee. And Manu, he's an entrepreneur. He's from Gold Coast. When he's doing a lot of seva, that is pretty much is very important for us to remember. Thank you. Thank you so much, Daniel. If you can stay here for a time, that's. I know you have to go. You have so many things, but we. All right.
Good to see you.
You
Thank
will
you.
be coming soon. Now, could I please request Mark Speaksman, Leader of Opposition, to share a reflection of this occasion? Thank you, Mark.
Sati Shri Akal. I won't go through the distinguished guest list. Previous speakers have done that, but you're all distinguished guests tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, the 5th of November, was the 556th birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, founder of the Sikh faith, and one of history's great teachers of peace, compassion and equality. And it's fitting that we're gathering here in this parliament because this place stands for democracy, equality and respect. Principles that the Guru's own message echo, that every person, no matter what their background, what their gender, what their faith, is worthy of dignity and compassion. He's teaching that there is one humanity, bound together by love and service, continues to speak across the centuries. From the early Sikh pioneers who came to Australia back in the 19th century, to today's business professionals, leaders, teachers and volunteers, over 200,000 Sikhs in Australia, over 50,000 in New South Wales, your community has helped to build a fairer, stronger and more vibrant New South Wales. The Sikh spirit of seva, selfless service, can be seen in Gurdwaras offering free meals to anyone in need, in local charities, and in the many Sikh Australians who serve in our Defence Forces, emergency services and community organisations. But we also know, as the Treasurer pointed out, that prejudice and discrimination and hatred and bigotry and racism still exist. And that's why it's so important to be having gatherings like this in this place, the cradle of democracy in New South Wales, to build bridges, to deepen understanding and to reaffirm that New South Wales belongs to everyone who calls it home. Across our Parliament, all of us share a responsibility to ensure that every person, regardless of background or belief, can live free from hate and fear and can take pride in their identity and their contribution. Guru Nanak Dev Ji once said, "He who regards all men as equal is religious." These words challenge each of us in public life and in private to look beyond difference, to act with fairness and to serve with humility. So on behalf of the New South Wales Opposition, I thank you, the Sikh community, for your warmth, your generosity and your leadership that both Sikh communities and broader Indian communities continue to show. May the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji guide us all towards unity, justice and hope. Thank you.
Could I request you, Mark, to come here, please? I think also I can give you a light as well. So we have enough. So could I request you, please, Nadeem Ahmed, to come? And our two other faith religious leader, one is Pandit Siva and Sheikh Sunar Kurlu. Please come on the stage. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mark. Now, could I please request Consul General of India, Shri Janki Ramanji? I think he can talk more because he already have one function for Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So come on the stage, please. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Guru Nanak, for having this event continuously for 3 years at the fantastic place of the NSW Parliament. It's my honor once again to take part in this occasion on the July 56th birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Ji. It appears that we are looking very sad. As I said that last week, Friday, we had the same event at the consulate. As I said, it's a celebration. We should look happy and then we have to talk to each other about what we think. That is also one of the teachings of Guru Nanak. If we don't smile at each other or talk to each other, we don't understand each other. Our Honorable Treasurer, who was here, has rightly mentioned that equality and what this NSW Parliament stands for and the unity. It's all taught by the great Guru. I also mentioned in the last week's event why someone is to be called as Guru is because of the vision. 500 years ago, he taught so many things to the people of that time, and it is still relevant. That is purely because of that reason we should call him Guru, and then we should pray and follow his faith. Equality, of course, is very important. And so much talked about the teachings of Guru Nanak just before me, the Honorable Treasurer of NSW, of course, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Mark Speakman. There are so many adjectives to tell about Guru Nanak. And what we have to stand in front of us is that are we true to each other? that the truth is going to win in this society? Are we truthful to our family? Are we truthful enough to be serving in this country or living in this place? The two other important teachings was peace and harmony, always been spoken and discussed in various fora. Currently, if you see the political developments across the world, we don't see peace, we don't see harmony. Are we seeing peace and harmony in our family? We have to start from our family. So these are some of the teachings. These organizing such events to bring back our memories, what we are and what we are lacking, what we are not doing, what we are not following. It is not that what we speak, it is important that what we follow in our daily life. Such events will remind us that are we true to ourselves or not. I'm not going to use too much of messages. Much is going to be taught. Of course, we have pundits coming from various community going to talk about peace and harmony. But I'm leaving that to them. On this occasion, I would like to convey my best wishes on behalf of the Consulate as a Consul General. Be happy, peaceful. So before I finish, I would like to acknowledge the senior members of the Parliament present here. Maybe I should start from this side, and then I will go this side, on right and left. Of course, Jenkins is there in our UN center, and Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Mark Speakman, Nationalist Party member Gurmesh of Sauber, like from various other faith, Difan Malik, NSW President of AIBC, and of course my friend Ram Singh Bombay from Amritsar and also from Mumbai, Honorable member from Liverstone, KP. Fantastic to see you. Commodore or Commander of and Honorable member of Parramatta Davis, and Pandit Shiva, and Councillor Noel Souza, Mr. Mark, Parliamentary Secretary. Thank you very much, and various other dignitaries present here. It is fantastic to see everyone coming to participate in various other faiths even. That itself is a message, that your presence itself is a message that we are living in harmony in a place like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you speak, you give something?
Yes, everyone's done getting something. So could I request Suraj from Jatkas to come on stage? So we have a suite from Suraj. That's he's the owner of Jatkas. Thank you, Suraj. So I think we have 3 speeches, but we take a break. But break is about the video about Guru Nanak Dev Ji's. We now take a moment to reflect of life message of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's. Could I ask you to play? Thank you so much. I also would like to correct, I mentioned to Daniel Mukhi, we're doing 3 years with Daniel Mukhi, but before we're doing since 2019, every year in the parliament. I remember in COVID we did where the governor came, and we have only 30 people in the parliament. And I have upset many people because people wants to come and I can't make everyone to come and join. So it's almost 2019 till 25. We are so blessed that we're hosting this event in the parliament. Now it's give me a great pleasure to invite my brother Gurmesh Singh. Gurmesh Singh and me share a very similar name. So there's a lot of stories, but I give you one story today. So Julia Finn is not in the room, that's why otherwise she will be upset. So she have wrote a Christmas card to me and writing Happy Birthday Gurmesh Singh. Sorry, Merry Christmas Gurmesh Singh. And Gurmesh got Merry Christmas Gurnaam Singh. And sometime in the cricket fraternity, I think some invite, I get it like, is Gurmesh, you have invited Gurmesh? I was like, I never got this invitation. It's such a royal, invite. And they can't say no once they have sent the invitation. So Gurmesh, thank you so much for all what you do and your presence for the community. Could I please request you to share a few words? Thank you.
Yeah, only some of those stories have made the media.
That's not confident.
Yes. Look, thank you, Gurnam. Thank you, Nadeem, for putting this event on this evening in Parliament. As Gurnam mentioned, this has been happening for many years. I was first elected in 2019, and in that year, we actually celebrated the 550th birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji by illuminating the sails of the Opera House that night. And that was a memory that I will carry for a very, very long time, because I was fortunate to have a lot of family here with me at that time who I was able to share that experience with. To Bhavneet and Jadip, thank you very much for your gift, and there you are up there. Thank you very much. I think that's really important to hear the Shabad here in the New South Wales Parliament as well. Look, on reflecting what I was going to say tonight, I knew I'd be speaking third or fourth. Usually a lot of people have already said everything that needs to be said, so I won't repeat all the acknowledgements of all the special people in the room, but welcome to the New South Wales Parliament. Welcome to those from the Sikh community, but also welcome to those from the interfaith community as well. Look, one of the great advantages of our technological era is that there's a lot of new media that's coming out that is sharing the message of Guru Nanak Dev Ji in a lot of different ways. And I'll admit, I'm one of the people who, much later in life, despite growing up in a religious household, is learning a lot more about the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji now that they are much more available. You can Google something, you can AI the meaning of something immediately, and there is, I think, so much more depth to be found, especially in our very complicated modern world that we're growing up into now. And the beauty of the teachings of Guru Nanak, I think they're actually becoming more relevant in our modern world than what they were in the past. And I think there's a tremendous new hunger for this message and a tremendous new audience for this message as well. I also just want to acknowledge the Treasurer, Daniel Mukhi. I know he mentioned my hometown in Woolgoolga. Yeah, Sikhs have been living in Australia for a very, very long time, and often they would be working on the ships travelling to Australia. Some would stay. My own family story actually starts in Cairns, up in far north Queensland, and they moved their way slowly south until they couldn't. It was the coldest place they could live was Kosovo. Any further south was too cold. Just upon sitting here today and looking at this painting of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, this was one of the images that many Sikh families will have in their home, a picture of an older Guru Nanak Dev Ji. But we forget, before Guru Nanak Dev Ji was of advanced age, he was of a young age. And in his youth and middle age, Guru Nanak Dev Ji travelled very, very extensively throughout India and the Middle East. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji is actually known by many different names. So to people in India, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Nanak Shah Fakir. In Afghanistan, Nanak Peer. In Nepal, it's Nanak Rishi. In Iraq and the Middle East, it's Baba Nanak or Nanak Bir. In Sri Lanka, it's Nanak Charya. In Tibet, Nanak Lama. In Saudi Arabia, Valley Hind. And in Egypt, Nanak Valley. So what do all these different names for Guru Nanak Dev Ji tell us? Firstly, it tells us that he travelled very widely. His message went much, much further than just Punjab. So much of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's prayers and teachings were inspired by the world that Guru Nanak Dev Ji saw around him. From the yogis in the Himalayas to the Jagannath in Odisha. Religious debates with scholars in Mecca, and witnessing the invasion of Babur in his home area. These different names also tell us something more important. Rishi, Bir, Lama and Baba. Each of these titles come from the local language, which suggests that local people resonated with the message that Guru Nanak was preaching in those areas. And while the names differ, the underlying thesis is the same. Guru Nanak preached commitment to the oneness of God, the equality of humanity and the service of others. Guru Nanak Dev Ji lived in 15th century Punjab, a time and place where Hindu and Muslim communities lived side by side, but were often divided by ritual, caste and political conflict. His early life coincided with the decline of the Delhi Sultanate and the rise of Emperor Babur, when religious identity was both a personal and political matter. After a profound spiritual experience at about the age of 30, Guru Nanak emerged from a meditation and proclaimed, "There is no Hindu, there is no Muslim." So essentially saying there is no Hindu, there is no Muslim. And this wasn't a denial of faith, but rather it was a challenge to division. And this is something that the Treasurer spoke about earlier, as did Mark Speakman. It's not about erasing someone's identity, but it's about seeing their humanity first. And it's obviously a message that is still resonating today, probably more than ever here in New South Wales. Because our world is a world that does like to draw lines between people. Guru Nanak Dev Ji was also one of the first preachers, I think, especially in the medieval world, to preach gender equality, because that's been one of the biggest lines that's been drawn in our societies forever. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji wrote it in the scripture that women are equal to men. So whether in faith, community or public life, our job is the same. We've got to see the best in each other, to serve without prejudice and to lead with compassion. And if we can do that, if we can see humanity first, then we honour the spirit of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, not just in word but in action. I'll close by just offering the same offering I do to any group I speak in front of. There's a wonderful museum in Woolgoolga. So if you're ever travelling up the Pacific Highway and you want to stop by for some langar and view the early history of Sikh migrants to Australia that learn a lot about the Sikh religion, there's a museum across the road from the Gurdwara, and it's some people think that might spend 5 or 10 minutes in there, and they spend an hour and a half in it and say, well, we only got halfway around, we need to come back. So it's a wonderful place to come and visit, and you're all welcome anytime. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gurvesh. Now, could I request Harsh to come on stage and facilitate? And also, I would like to request and can I please request our Pavneet to come? That's a surprise for you. She just confirmed last minute. And this is what I thought we need to promote in Sikh culture, the young people who's doing a Kirtan Shabad apart from their day-to-day job. So this is something I came across in a couple of days. In 24 hours, we managed to get 2 people from full-time job but part-time teachings. And this is the message I feel we should promote in our humanity, that people should be promoted, especially from young community. So thank you so much for joining us. Please. Thank you. Now we would like to invite Warren Kirby. Thank you, Warren, for all your support and what you do in the community. And it's good to have you on Friday as well. So Warren was there on Friday, a true friend as mentioned, very close friend of Council General. I think you have many, but he's one of them. So thank you, Warren.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I would also like to say to the Jain community in the room this evening, Jai Jinendra, Jai Shri Ram, Assalamu Alaikum. These greetings remind us that here in the room together we have people from multiple faiths all coming together in unity, and we've heard a lot about that this evening. And my co-chair of Parliamentary Friends of India, Gurnam, has said, being a little way down the list, it's a little bit hard to come up with something original. But let's give it a bit. Let's give it a go. I think one of the things that hasn't been touched on, which is perhaps something that should be spoken about a little bit more often in this building, is Guru Nanak Dev Ji's commitment to truth. And when we focus on truth, we understand that the division that we saw at the front of this building over the weekend is a complete distortion of that truth. What we see here in the room this evening is a wonderful representation of multicultural Australia, of the vibrancy it brings, of the compassion and the peace that can be attained by bringing everybody together in a single room. And it is great credit to Gurnam and also Nadeem at the back there in ASICS for making a very conscious effort to not just focus on one particular faith, one particular ideology, or even as the person talks about with trade. All of these things are important in their own way, but by consciously reaching out to multiple different groups and coming here in a building that it is incumbent upon the people who work here in this building to really take to heart truth and what that means for our communities, how seeking a greater truth of the things that challenge us on a day-to-day basis means that we can work together to form better legislation to improve the lives of those here in our community. And so I guess the message that I would like to send to everybody is that truth that I see before me here, and the truth that I have the absolute privilege of seeing every day in my community, is that diversity is our greatest strength. That coming together in unity means that we have an Australia that advances forward, that carries forward with every new generation of new migrants that come to join us here in this great land. We become a better society, and we become a richer and more full community. And I thank each and every one of you who have come to choose Australia as their home and to make our communities a better place all around. It is a true credit to each and every one of you. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Warren. Now could I please request Jazeel Mystery to come on stage, please?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Warren. As you mentioned about the reflection of different community, so we have dialogues from the different community, and today we have four community representative. One is Ram Singh Bombay. His name is Ram Singh Rathore, but the Bombays came but just because he's from Bombay and he's doing so much work in Bombay that the Shiromani Pramandak Committee gave him a title as a Ram Singh Bombay. So he is in charge of Sikh mission of SGPC Shri Amritsar, Karnataka, Gujarat and Goa. Any relation with Sikh community in these three states, that he is the president. And his representation as well. And president of United Singh Sabha Foundation of India came all the way from Bombay. So Mr. Bombay, could I please request you to come on stage?
का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। Honorable Treasurer Mr. Mukhi, who has just left this hall, Honorable Leader of Opposition, Members of Parliaments, distinguished guests, government officials, and fellow citizens. When we say fellow citizens, it means the global citizens. What Guru Nanak Dev Ji preached us, his divine teachings, his divine vision was for all of us, for all of the humanity, without the geographical barriers, religious barriers, caste, creed, and even the gender. Guruji taught us the equality, and he proclaimed that we should worship only the Creator, who has created this whole universe, and everything we see around us is his creation. So Guruji taught us in equality and the love, peace, and the honesty when we do work, and the seva for the humanity. Seva does not mean that it's any kind of obligation, but it should be a way of our life. We have to support the needy. We have to stand for the people who are denied the justice. And we should treat each and every person, human being, as equal. As on today, there are global challenges, whether it is environment or it is the division among the societies due to different reasons. Gurujis have preached that we should be pure in our deeds. Shubh amla balo dono roi. What it means that we should have the good deeds. Good deeds will take us close to the God. I remember a story of Nobel laureate Shri Rabindranath Tagore ji, who created a national anthem for India. Once he was asked that why don't you create a universal anthem like you did for the national anthem of India. So he beautifully replied, the universal anthem was created by Guru Nanak Dev Ji 500 years back, where he proclaimed and explained the whole universe like गगन में थार रव चंद दीपक बने तार का मंडला जनक मोती तू मलयान लो पवन चवरो करे सगल बन राय फुलंत ज्योति. It means upon the cosmic plate of sky, sun and the moon are like lamps, and the stars are like glitter. They are glittering like the pearls. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji taught us not only to respect and be nice to our human beings, but he preached us that we have to be kind to the whole universe, which is the creation. And if we respect the creation, automatically we will be respecting the God, the Creator who is one. As we sit here and celebrate Guru Nanak Dev Ji's birth anniversary, I feel blessed to be here. I feel humble to stand here as a representative of Shromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee, Shri Amritsar, and on behalf of our respected President, Sardar Harjinder Singh Ji Dhami Ji, I would like to congratulate you the happy birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and as a leaders and citizens of this global village, we should take his values with us to build a better world, the world where the truth is reflected, the divine light is seen in each of us. I pray to the Guru Nanak Dev Ji, please bless us all, each and every person and the whole humanity. I would like to thank, before I conclude, Sardar Gurnaam Singh Ji for giving me this opportunity to say a few words in front of you. Before I conclude, I will go back to the Guru Sahib Ji di Fateh. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Thank you, Ram Singh Ji. Now, could I please ask Pandit Seva Srinivasan, representing Australia Council of Hindu Clergy.
Sat Shri Akal, Namaste, good evening to everyone. Thanks to all the parliamentarians, my namaskar to everyone, and all the community leaders, and all my brothers and sisters. We came all the way from far away, and also our party colleagues. We also had a long day. I know that we had a long meeting and then we finished up and then we all came here. Thank you, everyone. Then thank you, Gurnam Bhai. Is always a source of inspiration. He and Nadeem Bhai did a lot of good work in our community. So thanks to everyone. And it is my privilege to join you in celebrating the 556th birthday anniversary of Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the revered founder of the Sikhism and one of the greatest spiritual teachers of humanity. So we always say that in our community in Australian way, we always say sharing is caring. So he taught us everything right from the day one. And we call them as Guru because Guru is meant to be the source of inspiration, source of knowledge. To take the darkness away from us, give you the right path to lead in our life. So that's what the Guru's teaching is. That's what our Guru Nanak Dev Ji also said. And his message was timeless and universal and called for equality, so which is very much needed in the community now. And he reminded us that divinity is not confined to any one place or person, is reflected in honest work, selfless service, and recognition of divine light in every being. So we always, when I grew up, when my mom and dad said, keep on saying that, you try to help others, don't expect anything from them. They will definitely come back to you when you are in need. So it has been proven to everyone. And also his profound teachings was Kirat Karo Naam Japo Vanchako, which is to live with integrity, remember the divine, and share what we have with others. These values continue to resonate deeply in today's world, inspiring harmony and mutual respect among all the faith communities. As we gather under the auspices of ASEX,
and NSW Parliament. Thank you, Daniel Muki, for his present. We renew our commitment to the ideals of Guru Nanak Dev Ji to build bridges of understanding, serve with humility, and uphold the spirit and welfare of all. Thank you, Sat Shri Akal. Namaste.
Thank you, Pandit Siva Srinivasan. Now I'd like to invite Sheikh Sunar Chirulu, Imam, New South Wales, Turkish Mosque. Thank you.
All praise is due to God, who by his magnificence is veiled from the perception of the eyes, and by his glory and might is exalted above the attainment of thoughts, whose essence being unique is unlike the essence of created beings, and whose qualities are far removed from the qualities of creatures born in time. And may the peace and blessings of God be upon all his noble prophets and messengers, starting from Adam through to Moses, through to Jesus, and through to the last of them all, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you all. Thank you for inviting me here to share just a few words with you in regards to the concept of peace and how Islam promotes peace. And if you actually look at the root derivative of the word Islam itself, it's derived from the word peace. So submission and peace. And our very greeting, which I greeted everybody with at the outset, is a greeting for prayer, that peace is upon the person in which you are greeting, and peace is upon the person in which you are departing from. One of the great scholars, Rabia, not unlike the guru that we are honoring tonight and the many saints that have gone in the past, had many wise things to say to us. And she was asked, do you love God? And she said, absolutely, this is a certainty. Then she was asked, do you hate those that intend harm upon you? And she said, my love for God leaves me no time to hate such people. And this is the key. It is our outlook towards one another that will improve our relations between each other. And one of the teachings that we refer to in Islam, or one of the prophetic sayings, is love for humanity what you love for yourself in goodness. And so this is a first step, a precursor for you to appreciate your fellow human beings. That if you don't like someone per se, at least learn to love for them what you love for yourself. What is good for them as you would want for yourself. And this will begin that transformation, that inward transformation in which your outlook towards other people will begin to change as well. And these are the steps that we need to take in order to do that. Subduing the ego is a key. It's the primary key. We cannot ignore our innate propensity. We cannot ignore our lower-based passions and desires, our self-centeredness, our self-indulgence. And as a result, once we recognize the inward enemy that we have, and we work towards subduing it, then we will have a different perspective of the people around us as well. The ego drives us to be self-centered. The ego drives us to be selfish. The ego drives towards self-indulgence. But what God Almighty wants for us is to be charitable, to be kind, to benefit humanity, to benefit those around you. And as such, we have, for example, in Islam, the 5 daily prayers. And in the 5 daily prayers, we place our cerebral cortex on the floor, as low as it will go. Not unlike Jesus did in the New Testament, for example. And what that will do is that will infuse within you humility and rid you of pride. Recognizing and realizing that you are in need of the one you are prostrating before. We have, for example, fasting. And during the fast, we abstain from eating, we abstain from water, we abstain from intimacy. And eventually you recognize and realize how weak you are, how dependent you are on God Almighty. That you have food because He has provided it, but it could have been a reality in which you do not have that food. And as such, you understand your own weakness. When you understand your own weakness and your own dependency on God Almighty, you begin to understand the weakness and dependency of your fellow human being. And this is introspection. This will move you away from being judgmental and critical and condescending to others to be compassionate, understanding, caring, and considerate, because you understand their weakness as you do your own. One of the other pillars of Islam is giving charity. And give from what we have provided to you. And we always believe and assume that when we give charity, first and foremost, we are helping other people through their difficulties. But really, God Almighty is helping us subdue our ego, learning to let go of the world, learning to let go of your greed. That is what God is training us to do. And so first we are helping ourselves, before we are helping others. And as we subdue the ego more and more, then what God Almighty wants from us becomes easier and easier. For example, the Prophet said, "Yassiru wa la tu'assiru wa bashiru wa la tunaffiru." Make things easy for people. Do not make things difficult for them. Do not place undue burdens upon them. And give them glad tidings. Say those things that will bring joy, peace, and contentment to their hearts. Do not say things that are condescending, that will make them flee, that will make them turn away. And this injunction, the Prophet here is not saying, go easy on people. It's far more profound than that. It's an injunction, a prophetic injunction to make things easy for others. If you have an opportunity to help somebody else, to make things easy for them, it is an injunction, a prophetic injunction for you to do so. And eventually, we will elevate, transform inwardly to such a state in which we as Muslims at least, this is what we should be striving for, the prophetic statement in regards to what a Muslim is, to what a person who submits to God Almighty is. He said, "Al-Muslimu man salima an-nasu min lisanihi wa yadihi." The Muslim, the one that is submitting to God. If you want to be a Muslim, he is the one from whose tongue and from whose hands humanity sees no harm. And I will finish with this. Sometimes we as Muslims, especially the young ones, they sit constantly praying to receive paradise. Oh God Almighty, I want to receive paradise. God Almighty, I want to receive paradise. Give me paradise. But a Muslim should live such a life, an empathetic, compassionate, charitable, caring life, that paradise is praying to receive you. So, again, it's truly an honor to be called up here in order to share a little bit of my tradition. Every month I speak on a panel that HWPO organizes, and we have a scholar from the Sikh tradition as well as other scholars as well. And just sharing ideas and sharing our tradition is truly, moves us to unanimity through diversity. As somebody said, diversity is a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, globalization is leading everybody to eat the same food at McDonald's, have the same house and wear the same clothes. Whereas in the past, it was great going to other countries and seeing these different traditions, people dressing differently, people in different architectural houses, people eating different foods and so forth. So may God be pleased with you for putting this event together. And again, thank you for having me here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheikh. Now, I would like to invite Manu Kala from Manu Kala Foundation. He's from Gold Coast. He's one of the guys who's actually doing some different work that, I would like him to come in the parliament to talk about the real humanity work for the people who are in need. And not from today, but since the COVID started, because he's into health, and then he started something with the government initiative that the beds, hospitals, shortage of beds. So Manu, would I please request you to come? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gurram, and so good to be here today from Gold Coast. Very hard to keep up with all the speakers who've been before me. So, my name is Manu Kala, and happy Guru Purab. Happy birthday to Guru Nanak Dev Ji and his teaching, which have been a pillar of my entrepreneurial journey. So, I came as an international student from India, in Griffith University in 2009, and started my journey from there. And I led my life teaching of Guru Nanak Dev Ji as a selfless and with purpose, with integrity, discipline. And those things which are very relevant in whether you're in politics, whether you're in profession, or you're an entrepreneur, the responsibility we carry as an entrepreneur for our colleagues, for our staff. So I did a lot of work for a business. As I said, coming to a new country and starting from scratch, it's not an easy task, as a lot of international students would have witnessed that. The system is somehow designed to, it's a lot of challenges to overcome those systematic issues to build your business here. But I think Australia, we're very lucky to have the opportunity of a fair go, one of the best countries we live in. So I started Covax Australia, a company which helped us to go through the pandemic, employed thousands of people in that, changed the company to KNG Healthcare. I like innovation in healthcare, which usually the innovation is restricted to the tech world. But and while doing that innovation in healthcare, getting rid of the ambulance ramping, the bed blocking, coming up with the new ideas in healthcare, they're doing a national rollout right now in the country, still like employing people. The purpose which Guru Nanak Dev Ji gave us to lead with that purpose has always been in mind. I remember this, my mom telling us stories growing up about Guru Nanak Dev Ji and me at 6 years old, intrigued little guy. I said, Mom, who's God? Define God, and just consistently challenging. And I'm praying morning and after evening every day, but still no definition. She gave up one day and she's like, God is the one Guru Nanak Dev Ji calls God. Just whoever he calls God is a God. And that led to this discovery of the Mool Mantra which he gave as the beginning of Guru Granth Sahib, the definition of God as Ikonkar, and can't be created, can't be destroyed. And then we learn physics. And then I'm like, okay, this teaching which I've learned from Guru Nanak Dev Ji is actually reflecting in physics, like an energy. It can't be created, can't be destroyed, it's transferred from one part to the other part. And this is the vision of this man, which led to just connecting the science and the faith together and basing our life on that. And then the opportunity of giving back. Like, what kind of human being we will be if we don't give back? How's it justified? The things we've been given and provided by working hard or whatsoever are not giving back. And I remember this one day, I helped someone. I didn't have a foundation at that time, and my CFO called me and she's like, "Oh, there's going to be a bit of a dent in your account. Why are you giving so much?" And I said, I keep discovering, and this man has been a big influence in my life. That Guru Nanak Dev Ji used to work as an accountant, and then whatever he used to earn, he used to distribute and give, and get in trouble doing that. And pretty much reflected. I said, "I'm going to trouble my wife and my accountant, two crazy women in my life." And I said, "This is not right. But why did I do that?" And I discovered the definition of the selflessly selfless. I liked it. I loved it. And he must have loved it, doing the seva and traveling all over and surrounding himself with the right people and giving his teaching of unity and faith to all these people. So I did that and then established my foundation. And now I'm doing a scholarship for one medical student a year in Griffith University. Whether I can afford it or not, I work backwards. I'm a successful entrepreneur. But I work backwards. I try saying, how can I change the world by giving too much? And then work backwards and having that energy drawn from that charity work I do to then go and close deals. At the end of the day, I'm an entrepreneur. I make money by closing deals. But where do you draw that energy? How do you consistently inspire yourself to wake up in the morning and go chase that dream? Is by our mayor Tom Tate always says on the Gold Coast, he goes, give until it hurts. And that's what we do in the Mandukara Foundations. It's my charity doing a lot of work in overseas, creating schools in Kashmir, that I come from, and changing lives here on the Gold Coast. I sit on the board of Serving Our People, another incredible charity with the grassroots level. But this seva of Vandishaka, which Guru Nanak Ji taught us to give back, I use that as not to create example for my kids, but to draw that energy every single day. So on that note, I won't take you long. If you're the Gold Coast, please hit me up. We'd love to host you there, one of the beautiful parts of this country. I am biased, and we know the results of state of origin this year, so let's not go there. But thank you so much for hosting me today in this parliament. This is my first time. I'm looking forward to coming more often here, expanding my tech company in New South Wales, and making some new friends and new relationships here. But the purpose and the fact that I love giving back. So whatever I earn in New South Wales is going to be back in the community. So thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Manu. These stories need to be shared so people can inspire. I also would like to acknowledge two people in the room, the member for Strathfield, Jason Lee, and the Karishma Kalyani from member for Liverpool. And we also have a very special person in this room, the Patricia Jenkins, the President for United Nations, NSW, to come on stage because she's the one who talked about peace, humanity, kindness, and I saw you on the Peace Forum last week. Thank you.
Oh, this is unexpected. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. I'm very moved by this. I'm very moved because I'm Australian born. I was brought up in Bondi with many migrants and people that came with hope in their hearts, and I learned from a very young girl the importance of sharing, of peace, humanity, and being one. And I have spent many years moving and mixing with different communities to do what I could to help them. I, at a very young age, took up and went overseas and started living with communities, and I came back and put myself through uni and all my PhD and studies. Been involved with how we've evolved into this multicultural society, and we are one. Humanity is one. It's just coming together as one and in giving to each other and being part of each other and saying, hey, how can I help you? What can I do for you? Because you can't beat nature, and we're all part of nature, but we're all here. We all have our faiths and we all have our religions, but we are to be people that share goodness, that we share humanity, and we try to build a better world. And in my Aussie way, I say to help create a better world for all in the wonderful spirit of humanitarian mateship. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patricia. Now we have a last speaker. And could I please request Christine McDonald, the Burwood Area Commander? She have joined us today. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Gurnam, and thank you, Nadeem, for the lovely invitation to be here tonight. I bet you all weren't thinking that you'd hear from a police officer at an event like this, and certainly one that's not dressed for the occasion. I've come out of uniform tonight. But earlier today I was at Remembrance Day services across our police area command, and I've spent the day just remembering and thinking and reflecting on our community and our world and people that serve. And today was very much about remembering people that served our community. And so to come here tonight and to hear from all the wonderful speakers, I think I've learnt more in the last hour than I've learnt in the last few weeks at least. But a lot of your teachings and your words on unity and peace and harmony and humanity and people serving the community just really resonates with me. What you said earlier about it starts with the family and it starts with all of us. Peace starts with all of us. And I think I often speak at events and talk about things, crime, like domestic and family violence and organised crime and youth crime and everything that happens in my daily life. But I think fundamentally, if we all take responsibility, and it all starts with us, and it all starts with being the best that we can be in our family and to each other and treating each other with kindness and respect, I think that our world and our communities will be a lot better off. At Burwood Police Area Command, I have 40 different nationalities of police officers, and I sat here today with Mr. Kirby and spoke about those 40 different nationalities of police officers, and I have Sikh police officers at Burwood, so I'm very, very lucky. Mr. Kirby asked me earlier, do you have Sikh, much of a Sikh community in your area? I feel like I have a lot of communities in our area because we're so diverse, we're so multicultural, and like just our last speaker, I came from Bega on the south coast where they sell cheese, or where they make cheese. And so my upbringing is just very bland compared to everyone else's, but I really respect cultural diversity. And I think that we as a police force, particularly at Burwood Police Area Command, it's so important that we meet the community in the community. We don't wait for the community to come to us and report crime to us. It's really important that people not only are safe, but they also feel safe as well. So that's why we go out into the community. We go to so many different events. We're always talking to people like Gurnam and Nadeem to provide us advice about how we can better police our community, because it's so important that people are not only safe, but they also feel safe in Australia. It's such a wonderful country. It's a safe country. I know we've touched on the events of what happened on Friday, and that is absolutely not acceptable in our country and in our community. And anything that we can do to stamp that out is so important. But can I just say, it's such a huge honour to be here with you tonight. It's a really special occasion, and it's usually when I hear alarms, you just saw me stop. I don't have to do anything with that one. But it's a real special occasion, and like what was said earlier, it's a celebration. And I'm here with you tonight. I'm here with you every day on the streets. Stay safe, and if you ever need us, make sure you go to your police station. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. And today I also would like to acknowledge our support and partners, the Royal Construction, Gurpinder Singh, Chatkas, the sweet Shri Singh, it's for you, and also Jodhpur Design. And also I would like to invite Nadeem Ahmed, because this is really important to acknowledge this event. I can't put it by myself for such a short notice, because earlier we had a different date for this event, and we want to host this event the sitting day, and the last minute in 2 weeks what we have done, bring all these people. So just vote of thanks, Nadeem. Thank you.
And I promise it will be very, very quick. Sat Sri Akal, and very, very warm thank you to everyone. Tonight has been a reminder of why Guru Nanak Dev Ji message is timeless, because it lives with moments like these when people from all backgrounds come together as a one family. I would like to thank everyone, all our dignitaries present here, to the Treasurer, and special thanks to Councillor General Dr. Janki Raman. Sir, your presence and your heartfelt word truly touched us. They remind us that our roots and the bonds we share back home. And to all the leaders who have joined us today at our interfaith representatives and our faith leaders. To ESSEC, our partners and every volunteer, thank you to our photographers, thank you to Ahmed Pollard, Irfan Bhai, and every single one who is present here. You are the heartbeat of everything we do. Your warmth, your unity, your spirit. This is Guru Nanak Dev Ji's message in action. May we live tonight with more compassion, more humility, and more commitment to Sarbat Apala. And well-being to all. Vaheguru Ji da Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji di Fateh.
Thank you, Nadeem. As we conclude, let us remember Guru Nanak Dev Ji's divine word. Our Allah Noor Paya, Kudrat ke sab bande, ek noor te sab jab upaya, kaun bhale kaun mande. We all are born for the same light, and in that light we are one humanity. On behalf of A6, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our guests, community leader, interfaith representative, and volunteer for joining us for this blessed occasion. So today, one more thing, you might not know many people who are sitting next to each other. So just learn the culture. You're coming from different culture, faith, or belief. If we talk more about each other, like today something I learned, and I was just thinking in 2 days, Siva Srinivasan, who is a Pandit, I don't know, when I reached out to him, he mentioned that I don't know much about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. I think you can search. And what he is talking by his own, he's learning something, the three faith that, Kirat Karo, Naam Japo, Van Chako. This is something, this is the real humanity and kindness. This is real Australia. We are in this country to be blessed, to understand, what culture diversity we have. And right now, I think everyone witnessing in the parliament, each and everyone, I thank you, Satvir, Kumud ji, Irfan Bhai, I'm a Council General again. Yes, I think everyone, you are part of the community and you're a big asset. And I really thankful each and everyone, Manish, came to support, because this is something we also showcase that, the real community exists, and that where we belongs to. And I personally, last thing I want to say, this is really a parliament house for people, for everyone. Everyone welcome from every belief, faith and culture. Now I won't take much time. There's a fruit, drinks, everything, and make sure the sweets, the pack for everyone, you please take it with you. Thank you so much.
Australia's first Indian magazine to have a national reach, Indus Age is the largest circulated South Asian magazine in Australia with 5 simultaneous editions, 55,000 copies printed monthly, 220,000 readers, largest network of clients, undisputed leader in community news. Indus Age is circulated in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane and Perth to over 525 outlets. Grab your copy now to get the latest on the community, news from India, Bollywood, music and much more. For more info, log on to www.indusage.com.au.